So in the last video, we showed you how you can prep your clips in the source window. Consider that kind of like the prep table for a kitchen where you can get the clips ready to put inside the bowl. Another way you can prepare clips is just inside the bowl or inside the sequence or timeline. And the way to do that would just be go into the folder, find your video, and just drag it into the timeline. And then once it's in the timeline, I'm going to close these windows. Once it's in the timeline, you can do your editing. So you have your razor tool. You can select it. This is your toolbar. You have your selection tool, which allows you to grab clips and move them. You have your razor tool, which allows you to cut them. So just by clicking on a clip, I can cut it in half. If I have my selection, I can also trim by just grabbing the edges or move it. And if I wanted to re-extend it, I can put the rest of the clip there. Remember, this is all non-destructive, so the clip is always there. You just extend it. You never really destroy it. Alright, so that's one way, and then you can just put it in the order you want. So I can choose different clips and start the process of sequencing the order. So I could grab another clip here, just drag it in, grab another clip here, put it in, and then I can watch my sequence in the program monitor. You can see the clips play in the program monitor in the order of the timeline. Here is your video track. Here is your audio track marked by, the video is marked by V, and the audio tracks are marked by A. Alright, so in the timeline, you also have the pen tool. When you're dealing with audio, you can expand these rows for audio, and the white line is the volume. And let's go back to the selection tool. You can bring down the volume by manipulating that white line. You can also add keyframes by clicking on that white line. Going back to your selection tool and actually your pen tool, you can lower sections by adding keyframes. Alright, so now if we play it,
here now, let's go.
you have a lowered volume at the beginning,
I'd be a living
and you'll
sitting
see
duck than a dead one.
that it gets louder here,
You guys need to stop arguing. We need a plan.
and then lowered
Look,
again.
I got a plan. We about to get.
Alright. If you ever want to duplicate a clip that's been cut, you can grab your selection tool, select the clip, press Alt, drag it, and that will make a copy, and then you let go, and you have an exact duplicate of the clip that was inside. Again, to trim it, you can just grab the handles on the end and make the clip shorter or longer. If you want the beginning to fade in, the default transition, you just right click the edge, and it says apply default transition, and that will be a dissolve or like a fade.
Now,
So you see it fades up, and if you put one at the end by right clicking the end, apply default transition, it will be a fade out.
Come on, Sam, let's go. Sam.
There you go. To play the timeline, you just hit the space bar on your keyboard, and that activates play. Or of course you can hit the play button here underneath the program monitor. Alright. So again, your source monitor is kind of your prep table. You can put stuff in there and edit here, and then bring it in to the timeline. Or you can just put things directly in the timeline and edit them inside the timeline. Most people prefer to edit in the timeline. It's just convenient. But if you're a real organized person and you kind of have things mapped out, definitely this is for those people who are organized. All right. And I used our proxies again because they'll play faster, they're smaller, but for rule of practice, always make sure your sequence is at least HD. In fact, for my classes, let's just make all of our projects, when you're setting the resolution and frame rate of your sequence, just make sure it's HD, and you can scale down your 4K to that. Alright, I don't know if the computers will be able to handle the 4K. And then I'll also show you later how to ingest the footage and create these smaller proxies that I'm working with. And then later you can export as 4K. Alright, if you want to go to the beginning of your video, you just hit the home key. That's a shortcut. Takes you to the beginning of the timeline. And in our case, we have audio that is going, we have our clean audio, and we will want to match that. So basically what we're going to do is merge our audio to the video. And the way we would do that is we'd find our corresponding video, and to merge you would just put a video in the same bin as the audio that matches. Select the audio, select the video that matches, right click, and then go to merge clips, and you're going to merge by audio, and we've put in our audio mark so it will find the matching audio locations and it will merge them. And make sure you also hit remove audio from AV clip, and that will take out the scratch audio or the reference audio and then replace it with the clean audio. Alright, that's it for this section.